Hi, I will say hi first. Come on. My name is Shakuntala, and I was born to parents who were my father was my grandfather was a village officer. My grandmother was a housewife. She had three sons and two daughters. So I am the daughter of the eldest son. Being the eldest girl born into that family, I was called the Lakshmi of the house. In those days, Lakshmi means goddess of wealth. Whether she got wealth or not, I don't know. But this much I know that after I was born, there were a series of girls in the house, four or five. Two of my uncles had two girls each, and my aunt had one. So that means five, including me, we had six, half a dozen girls in the house. No, in those days, I don't remember whether Martin remembers that or not. We had these mm, tamarind seeds. We used to put like this and play, or snakes and ladders, something indoor games. No girl is sent out to play or to run or to no. Very few families, that too, who belong to Brahmin families, those girls were taught music, how to sing, how to do prayer in the prayer room, how to clean the idols which have to worship, and how to decorate that room, flowers and things like that. They start with that one. Then the next step is how to cut vegetables. Vegetables. It is an important thing. But because each curry requires a different type of cutting, and my grandmother was so particular that the size should be the same. She would say, how do you think a big thing will cook at the same time as a small piece of drumsticks were very, very plenty in those days in our area. This I remember because I had my third sister who is 6 years younger than me. That means I'm 6 or 7. I was born in 1922. My aunt, whose duty was to get vegetables because those families were all joint families. When we are four brothers and three sisters staying in the same house, how much you have to cook? In those days, there were no gadgets to show how to cut it. Now you have sizes and everything, but in those days, no. You know what you call katipita? That means you sit on the thing and cut it. And you know that it has a nice shape. You can cut it in whatever shape you want, and especially meat and fish. This is what we call now. We used to kursa ikkada kursa. She will show you how to. Katti means knife. Katti. Pita means wood. You sit on this and she will show you. ఇక్కడ ఆమె చూస్తుంది వాళ్ళు చూడలేదు ఎప్పుడు కత్తిపీట. See, that is the method. And for curry, for curries, this is how we cut. You haven't seen this, I knew. I would like to demonstrate things like this to the new generation because we are going back again to many of these things, Martin. Now I realize I may not be alive, but we might get back some of the old things which we have forgotten. Now, that we can, different types of cutting also. And still in villages in Andhra, they have this one. Cutting fish is so easy, and you know how thick you want a fry, you want it thinner. And we have names for that. Bengali cut. Bengali cut means what the Bengalis eat, the thin slice through which oil can seep, or what imli or sarson ka पीसने वाला देखी बेटी नहीं, there is a silvata, yeah, or there is another kind of a thing which we do like this, and चटनी बनाते हैं ना वो. Then there is another gadget where we have one round stone and another round stone on that. चक्की, घर में ही चक्की से हम लोग ये फ्लावर बनाते थे. I was born in a village where there were only 150 houses. Amongst the 150 houses, 30 were huts, more or less. The rest were houses made of mud walls. No, in those days, no what bricks, uh, nothing of that. So mud. They would just uh, step on it and make it into a soft this thing, and those houses are still there. I am 100. My father was 102 when he passed away. That house must have been at least 200 to 300 years old, made out of just mud. And then lime, you know lime, चूना बोलते हैं ना, and that lime was the one that used to be put on the walls, and it was a disinfectant as well as it used to give the brightness to the house. And then they used to decorate the walls with um, what we call, uh, what do you say in English, mugu, designs in front of a house. रंगोली कलर्स नहीं यूज़ करते थे, ओनली राइस पाउडर, क्योंकि the thought behind that was the insects will come and take that piece rice powder, and that is their food. Early in the morning, they used to sprinkle cow dung water in front of the house, sweep the thing and make it clean, and then put this rangoli with rice powder only, so that insects will come and eat and go satisfied. And not only that, and the first thing is, you must, if you have a cow at home, go to the cow and just do like that to say that you are there, you are ours, and then give a little thing to eat, and then take out the milk. You must know how to milk the cow also. So you have to hold it like this, and you have to do like this. No pumps. Nowadays it is a pump that they put there and it sucks out the milk. In those days, say. And the last thing, you have to leave enough milk in the udder for the baby to survive. So that's why the housewife used to stand near the cow when the boy used to milk the cow, so that he would leave enough for the baby calf to have enough milk. That was the reason. Then after that only we'll come and take bath near a well. There were no bathrooms, and there were no, what can I say, you have to take water from the well. You know how they used to take out the water? Bucket, bucket, no? And then you tie a chain iron links like that. And then you drop that bucket into the well, take out that water, and always you have to wear a sari or some cloth on your body. You can't be naked in the because the well it is open and only a one portion has a wall where a woman can change her dress. Only little portion like that. Or brush your teeth. We didn't have brushes. I tell you, this neem tree, the stick of the neem tree, we used to chew it to make it into a brush, and with that brush the teeth, and then make it into two, and tongue scraper. That would be the tongue scraper. I am telling you because you wouldn't know all these things. You didn't need toothpaste. No, no toothpaste. No, tooth powder was made out of charcoal. Then dry ginger and salt. We used to mix this powder into a powder and use that sometimes to make the teeth white. Shikakai, you have heard? You have all round fruit, what is called uh, Rita. Rita. In Telugu, it is called Kukudkai. I have because I use that only for my hair. So how do you use it, Auntie? You just make it into and mix it in water. You get the water with that foam and use that like your shampoo. Nothing else. And your hair will be soft till you are 100. No, for body, we never used to have this because that removes the oil from the skin. You know what we used to do? My mother used to make out of this, mm, wait, it's called pesarapappu. What is pesarapappu? Green gram. Don't have pesarapappu, take basin and mix little um, rice powder also with that one and apply it to your body. Rub it. It is little rough and at the same time, like a scrub. At the same time removes the hair. And because you have rice powder there, which is rough, and you won't get. I'm 100 years. I don't have no. You, and there were no beauty salons in those days. We never went here. We didn't know what a beauty salon was. This was all. And then I had a very long hair as up to here, and my father got a stool made for me to sit so that my hair won't fall on the. So that for the height, and use the sikakai or the that Rita, and my aunt has to wash the hair and clean it and dry it up. And in those days, to dry up, we didn't have the dryer. We had this sambrani, sambrani. Uh, sambrani. You used to use the smoke of the smoke. And my hair was so long, they used to put a big basket there, put my hair on that basket, and put the uh, and that charcoal in a this thing. I have it here. You get the and all over, nice smell, and the hair is wet, and it absorbs the smell. For 2 3 days, the hair will smell. Eh? So it will get dry. No, that's the way we used to dry our hair. It is a ritual, no doubt. That's why it was on a Friday. Friday means for us Lakshmi Day. That is when Lakshmi comes home, you have to be clean from head to toe and wear a very nicely washed. clothes. In those no three, nothing. Just fold it and do like this and put it under your pillow. It becomes as though it is. And you wear such a sari. That was how it was in those days. I'm telling you, I'm taking you back to 100 years, 100 years back. That's how it was. But now it has changed. Everybody, now it's a shampoo, it is a dental cream, and then for this red lips, we used to, pan, you chew pan. Have you chewed pan ever? I too love pan. And then fingertips, we had this mendika thing. So, yeah, even here, good designs and all that. In those days, there were no slippers, no shoes. I tell you that also. It's the bare feet. Bare feet. You. When did shoes come then, Auntie? It came when I was 13 or so. Till then, no slippers. Only that two, it will be like this, and you put that kind of a slipper, which you can get for in those days for 3 rupees. Which was expensive. That is, we used to wear it to go to school because the roads were little rough. How did we go to school? No taxis, no nothing. Only these two legs were the carriers of our body. So you walked? Yeah. 2 kilometers from my house, there was a tank, and on the tank bund we used to walk and see a fisherman sitting and catching fish, and we will go in the morning at about 8 o'clock, and we never had this kind of a breakfast as such. Our breakfast was rice was cooked. Rice is our staple food, and rice was cooked early in the morning. Put some curds in it and little salt with a little pickle, any pickle, either mango or lemon, or even now I have this what do you call amla? Amla. Amla. Yeah. These are the must in the morning with that dahi rice and that amla chutney. That's why we were healthier in the sense our food was healthy. It had science behind it. They didn't know. They didn't know that there is now they're trying to say what is contained in a fruit, what is contained in a vegetable, and all that. In those days, they didn't know. This is what should be given in the morning for children. And sometimes, if there is much leftover rice, he used to soak the rice in the water in the night only. He eat it with these curds and this pickle. That's our breakfast. And you walk these 2 kilometers on the banks of that little tank, go to our school, come back by 12 o'clock. And girls' session was only in the morning from 8 to 12. In the afternoon, the boys used to go to school. So at that time, your grandparents also, they walked everywhere? Yeah. Everywhere? Yeah. So they were much more mobile than mobile, strong, and the sunlight was on them during that, because they had to go to, the main work was working in the fields to see that the people are working there, the bulls are pulling the plow, and all that they have to supervise. So they too used to eat this rice, go there and stand till 12 o'clock in the sun, see that the work is done, and they allow that man to go and take a bath in the tank, and that fellow will go home, eat his food and all that. Again by 5 or 4, he is back again to the house so that he can um, take the milk for us, evening milk for milk and things like that, and tie up the cows, give them fodder, and all this. And that was the person who used, and my grandfather used to supervise. When I was 4 or 5 years old, we didn't have any lights of any sort, not even lamp, lantern, or whatever we used to call. You know, it is called a hurricane lamp. Hurricane lamp. It's called hurricane lamp because even during hurricane, I believe it won't. No, kerosene used to be sold in bottles. One bottle of kerosene will be 20 paise or something like that. And in those days, you know, castor oil. Castor oil. You have heard of castor oil? We used to have lamps made brass lamps so high with those wicks inside and put this castor oil inside because it will burn slowly but the light will be brighter and it is very good for eyes. So each will be this high and each room will have two, one in that corner, it must be southeast corner, and another will be the opposite corner. So that you get light for the whole room. You see, no mosquitoes would come because of that oil, and no insects would come inside because in those days we didn't have those nets and nothing. So that was the old day. I am remembering my old days. I am telling you now. I am telling you. I am going back to my old days, and that's where my grandmother would sit and tell us the stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata, because before 7 we will not eat food. So rice will be cooked and hot rice with whatever curry there is and whatever it is. Dal must be a must for every day for a vegetarian because without dal no food is complete. And then chutneys, different kind of chutneys. And we used to eat in banana leaves because we no need for you to go rub on and clean, no cleaning, nothing of that sort. You roll your leaf, go and throw it in the bin there, and that bin that in the next morning, all that dirt will be put into a hole in the ground, which will become the manure for the plants. My old age, my childhood. I did all these things myself. I did it. If there are no banana leaves available, all the women after food in the afternoon used to sit and stitch leaves. We used to buy the, yeah. Even now you get those donna, they call it donna. You can have small cups like that. You can have big plates like that. So we used to eat in those leaves if we didn't have. That was the thing. Not until my father went to army did we know how to use a frock. We didn't have frocks then. It was the British time, British army, British soldiers, British girls, British schools, and uh, missionary schools to teach English only. That's how it was in 1931 when my brother was born. It was like that. So that's how my English, we learnt English. And my father said, those girls are using bicycle, why don't you learn to ride a bicycle? So, bicycle. And we had one friend called Ravina. I remember that girl also. She too, as old as I am, she would take me round and drop me sometimes from the bicycle and get hurt and all that. But I learned. And after I learned, my sisters learned. And then as I grew up, because my father was in that place for nearly 20, I am 22, 42, 20 years in the same Bangalore. Bangalore was the center of cantonment, British army, British cantonment. So we learnt all these British things from them only. We never knew what a fork was. And we saw for the first time mullu, mullu, we used to say. Mullu means a thorn, like that. And spoon, they don't use their hands, they use some other gadget to eat food. But that was life in those days. Take life as it comes. Take it with both hands. Lord, this is what you have given me. Give me the strength to bear it also. That's what I have been doing all these years. That's my advice to you also, my dear. Take it. He gives, he knows what you deserve. That's my advice to all my children and all my sisters in law, their children. And that's the only thing. I believe in a God. I don't believe this God is there, you have so many gods, you have so many. Each person, when you are doing something, you have a work to do, and your name is given by the work you are doing it. Sarvadeva Namaskaram Keshamam Pratigachati. Like all water that comes from the sky, falls on the ground, becomes a stream, and then becomes a river. That river finally goes and joins the big ocean. So, all of us, no matter where we belong, what we are, what religion it is, what condition we are, all these go to only one thing finally. And let us believe in that final this thing, and let us leave everything in the hands of that supreme power, whatever if there is a power. That is my philosophy, and I am putting it before you, before I pass. May God bless you. May you follow. If anything you can take out of my experience of this old 90 years, not 100, because what I remember is from 7th year. That is quite 93 years ago. And you took me back to that era. I wouldn't have gone back. I wouldn't have talked to anybody about this.